Alexander Volkanovski beat Diego Lopes again, and the fight looked exactly the same. From the moment this rematch was announced, everyone knew how it would go. No shock, no twist, there's no new story. And that's why this fight actually matters, believe it or not. Because if it had looked different, it would have confirmed every doubt people have about Volkanovski right now. Instead, he reminded us why he's one of the greatest featherweights ever, and why the rest of this division still has a long way to go to catch him. So today, we're not breaking down what happened, we're breaking down why it couldn't have gone any other way, and what that says about the division right now. And the first reason is simple. Diego Lopes didn't have an answer for him. Not this time, and not last time either. I mean, are you even surprised? Are you surprised that Diego Lopes had nothing new for Alexander Volkanovski? I mean, there was nothing new there for him at all. As a matter of fact, the scorecards got worse for Diego Lopes. And in our lead up to this, in our preview episode with Luke Thomas, we talked about, like, did we see any improvement from what Diego Lopes was before Volkanovski and what we saw again his next fight against John Silva? And there was no difference. John Silva just lended a better credence to what Diego Lopes fights like. He doesn't change from fight to fight. Diego Lopes goes out there and fights exactly how he wanted. And exactly how Diego Lopes fights is the exact reason why Volkanovski is such a good matchup for him. And when I say such a good, like, he's such a good matchup for Volkanovski, I should rewind that for a second. It was a one-sided affair. The fight itself, you compare it to last week with Gaethje and Pimblett, which was also a one-sided affair. Volkanovski was so much better that it was boring. And people out here are calling Volkanovski, you know, old and all that. And we did too. Like, there was some question about his age, and people are constantly waiting to see when that age will catch up to him. He's 37. But that just goes to show you how good he is, how fantastic he fights. It was beautiful. Volkanovski is a legend among us, and a lot of the time he was fighting was taken up with Max Holloway. You know, a lot of his defenses are taken up by Max Holloway and old Ortega and old Korean Zombie. But it doesn't show you how great he is, how great Alexander Volkanovski truly was. Or is right now. We're watching it. You know, and he's got contenders lined up, and I don't know if he beats any of them either. What Volkanovski has going for him is just incredible. And that's not to say Diego Lopes isn't a great fighter. No, Diego Lopes is a very, very good fighter. No, what I'm trying to say here is Diego Lopes has a lot of catching up to do, but so does the rest of featherweight. Like, do you think Movsar Evloev can beat Alexander Volkanovski after Volkanovski managed to grapple with Islam Makhachev? Do you think Lerone Murphy has anything for Alexander Volkanovski? Unless the Grim Reaper himself comes out in Father Time and gets in there with Lerone Murphy, he's not beating him. Volk's approach was magnificent. It really was. Hey, Diego, I'm going to make sure you can't move right. Whack, whack, whack at your legs. Whack him. Brilliant. It's the modern MMA meta, and it's like, wow, Diego Lopes, you did not see that coming? It's the same problem Topuria has, but Topuria's like, I'm not worried about it because I can sit on my punches and I can land them. Diego Lopes can't do that. And that caused Alexander Volkanovski to run away with this. And he ran away with it early. With the low kicks, really started to hobble Diego Lopes. Everybody was complaining about him circling to his right. I was listening to Luke Thomas before this, and Thomas pointed out that he was circling to his left the last fight, so he kind of mixed things up this fight. So everything you prepared for him circling to the left, gone now. Out of the picture. Get it out of here. No. This circling to the right was another one of those brilliant game plans for Volkanovski. Another one of those tactics that he puts in place, and he was lining up his cross all night with it. I mean, he puts his left hand forward. He's circling to the right hand power side of Diego Lopes. That puts him right in the line of fire for that big, long right hand that Volkanovski loves to throw. Battered him with it. Stunned him multiple times. This Alexander Volkanovski, sure, featherweight might be a little light at the moment, but you look at who's coming up, the Evloevs and the Benoit, what am I thinking? The Yusuf Zalals, all of these guys, and I don't see a single name that has a shot at him. Not one. Evloev, maybe, just because he's a specialist. But even then, I'm like, the Craig Jones approach did okay against Islam in the first fight. There's nothing for him. His approach is just magnificent. Lining up that punch, stepping forward, kicking at range, moving laterally. It's exactly what he needed to do. That's what he did the first time against Diego Lopes. My buddy Caleb texted me after this fight, and he was like, hey, I didn't catch the fight. How was it? And I asked him, I was like, did you see the first Diego and Volkanovski fight? He was like, yeah, it's a copy and paste of that. That's exactly what it is. So, like, what's next for Volk? It's like, I don't know. Like, this fight didn't teach us anything about Alexander Volkanovski, and I feel like we're at the point now to where we can't learn anything from what Volkanovski is now, because he's kind of set in stone at what he is. 37 years old, how much more changing can you do as a fighter? He's who he is. And now we're just trying to see how far this ride can take us. How far can he go? That's where we're at this point in time. That's where we're trying to see just how great Volkanovski is. He tied Jose Aldo in most UFC title defenses in featherweight history. Now, Aldo has like 45,000 in WEC, so we can't count, him being better than Volk, or Volk being better than him. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter who's next. Like, if Evloev deserves it, he should get it, but he has not been active, so it's probably going to be Lerone Murphy. Does that excite you? Because it sure doesn't excite me. It sure doesn't excite me. And good game plans are great, but it's on Diego Lopes to do something different, to bring something different to the table. Because, like, earlier in the night, Dan Hooker showed us what a good game plan looks like. Right up until Benoit Saint-Denis pressured him out of it. Insane performance from Benoit Saint-Denis. Insane comeback. And I won't say in comeback as in this specific fight. I'm talking an insane comeback from what Moicano and Dustin Poirier did to him. Benoit Saint-Denis was tired. He was exhausted. But Dan Hooker's plan was to make him tired. Kick to the body, keep him at bay, And we know, we've done film studies on Benoit Saint-Denis before. We know what he brings to the table. Open side body kick every single top fight. It doesn't matter if you're southpaw or orthodox. He's throwing the body kick with his rear leg. So it's not open side if you're southpaw. Dustin Poirier took a bunch of them on the back. His game plan was good. And he really did have Benoit Saint-Denis looking kind of bad early on. And it raised some more questions about Benoit Saint-Denis. But at the end of the day, it was Benoit Saint-Denis that got away with the win. Even a close one either. Wasn't even close. Because Saint-Denis got on top of Dan Hooker. And once he got on top of Dan Hooker, like, as great as the Hangman is grappling, he is not on that level. He is not. Benoit Saint-Denis' top game is just incredible, bro. It's Arman Saryukin level of incredible. Suffocating. Now, I'm not saying Benoit Saint-Denis is as good as Arman. I think Arman blasts through Benoit Saint-Denis, which I also think that could be a fight that they make here soon. Wouldn't mind watching that, right? Imagine if Benoit beats Arman. Giorgio Poulos beats him, and then Benoit Saint-Denis, like, bad day for Arman Saryukin. But seriously, though, guys, like, you watch this Benoit Saint-Denis performance, and you can't help but think to yourself, like, man, he's come a long way. You remember, like, the torrential pace he put against Dustin Poirier, only to gas himself out and get caught with a short hook, knocked out? This Benoit Saint-Denis now on a, 5-fight winning streak? I'm pulling it up now, but it is something along that lines. This is a 4-fight winning streak. Propelec, Mauricio Ruffy, Beneil Dariush, and Dan Hooker. It's crazy just how much he's fixed up the one hole. Now, there's plenty more, like the open side body kick he loves to throw. It's a brutal kick, but what do you do when your guy's southpaw like an Islam Makhachev, Or actually, Topuria is not. But yeah, like he's become better. He's a better fighter than what he was, and I can appreciate that. Now, as far as like his place among the division, and you look at what lightweight has to offer, and while it's not what it was with the Poirier, Eddie Alvarez, Gaethje, Islam, Khabib, Conor McGregor era, we talked about this with the Paddy Pimblett fight last week. Like, the division's not as good as it was, but you do got Benoit Saint-Denis coming up. You got Paddy Pimblett. You can book that. Benoit and Paddy. That'd be a fun fight, would it not? Think about a fight with him and Arman Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje, and I have a hard time seeing a fighter that can get one of these guys to the ground and fight where he fights best. Because make no mistake about it, if you deny Benoit Saint-Denis takedowns, he's dead in the water. Especially as rounds 2 and 3 go on. I'm not even thinking about rounds 4 and 5. He's dead in the water. So, thinking like of Benoit Saint-Denis as a top tier fighter, as everybody once thought he was going into the Dustin Poirier fight, and he looked the part in the first round. He's not that anymore. He can take Paddy Pimblett down. As a matter of fact, striking for 5 rounds with Paddy Pimblett wouldn't be a bad idea. Just to see where you're at. But to think, even for an iota of a second, that he's taking Justin Gaethje down, that he would take Arman Tsarukyan down, you're out your ever-loving mind. If you really think Justin Gaethje would get taken down by Benoit Saint-Denis, big wrong. Big wrong. Paddy couldn't take him down, and Paddy's takedown sucks. Nobody takes Justin Gaethje down not named Khabib. But Justin Gaethje's fighting Ilya Topuria next, so there's no real point in talking about that fight. It was crazy, and I still, like I said, struggle to see Benoit Saint-Denis as this top tier A+ fighter. I don't think he is. I think he has some very clear flaws that can be exploited, like another fighter we're about to talk about here shortly. And I don't know if I've seen the holes that are the most pressing be sewn up and shut, be fixed. I don't know. But I will say Mauricio Ruffy's win, it did matter more to me than Benoit Saint-Denis. He beat Rafael Fiziev. Good name to have on your resume. It was a great game plan by Rafael Fiziev to start out. It really was. It was a lot of low kicks and backing Mauricio Ruffy to the fence. And once you watch Ruffy in the fence in the first part of the first round, and it's really like the first half, you could really see just how uncomfortable against the fence he was. He was extremely uncomfortable, guys. Extremely uncomfortable. But something changed in there. Something in Ruffy's head was like, okay, we're good with this. He got the timing of Rafael Fiziev down. The game plan was great. Low kicks, backing him up. Ruffy hated it. But once Ruffy started coming forward and really pressing the pace and punishing Rafael Fiziev for those fake entries, I guess, and not getting anything off of it, he really started to get more comfortable. It's like, okay, we're going to do this dance over again. Back to the fence. Okay, look, fake entry, boom. Right hand up the middle. Fiziev says, oh, okay, I'll reset. We go back to the middle of the octagon and do it again and again and again and again and again. Eventually, that right hand is going to land. And it was those micro adjustments, because you watch, like, his feet are tripping up and he's crossing his feet and he just looks terrible against the fence, like he doesn't know what to do. Struggles against the fence. Then he just gets the timing down. Just a little adjustment. Just a micro adjustment. That's all it took. Just one small adjustment. And it was at that point that Mauricio Ruffy knew he had the fight won. You see, with Fiziev's empty entries, I guess you would say, where he's just kind of like, I'm coming in, up, coming out, coming in, coming out. I may or may not punch. It's really up to me. I don't know yet. Like, with all that, Ruffy's like, I'm just going to punch you every time, bro. And the right came every single time. And that's when you really started seeing Fiziev kind of like, oh, hold on now. And he became more and more reluctant. And eventually he half-heartedly comes in on Ruffy. He half-heartedly is like, oh, no, I'd come in. Kind of, maybe? I don't know. And Ruffy, like, Superman punch, but with a right cross almost. Like, really, really overextends with a big right hand and really makes Rafael Fiziev do the chicken dance. You know? I thought that right there, beautiful work of art. It really was. And I do expect more good things, more fun things from Mauricio Ruffy. But you watch his fight with, like, Benoit Saint-Denis, and, like, sure, like, Benoit Saint-Denis looked better against Ruffy, you know, he dominated him. But this was a more impressive win to me, you know. He took on a guy that's a specialist in his own area striking, and he won. He knocked him out. And Fiziev's a tough fighter. Gaethje couldn't knock him out, really. Or did Gaethje knock him? Gaethje might have knocked him out. I'll be talking out the rear sometimes, guys. But regardless, he knocked him out. Looked way better than anybody. I won't say way better, because he did, like I said, he did struggle. He did struggle a lot against Fiziev early on. Fiziev had a really good game plan going in. Let's see, Gaethje did not knock him out. Gamrot knocked him out, but it was like a leg injury. It wasn't really a knockout. But it was just a fun fight, honestly, guys. It wasn't one of those fights where it's like, oh my God, gotta have this. This is a title contender. This is a fun fight. This is Shara Bullet versus Michael Venom Page. Kind of meaningless in a ranking sense, and both guys are not going to test each other's weaknesses. At the same time, it was great. Yeah, it was good and entertaining, and at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be entertained. What else on this card? Towson Teixeira and Taito Avasa had a horrible fight. I mean, I don't want to talk about. Keilian Salkield, if I could say his name right, submitted Jamie Mularkey. This guy's good. Salkield's very, very dangerous, and yeah, he had that really big knockout, and after suffering his first career loss, he's kind of flown under the radar up until he knocked out Nasrat Haqparast. Never mind, he suffered his first career loss a long time ago. But he's come in, won the Contender Series, first round right cross, first round head kick against Haqparast. So, like, the dude's good. Now he's submitted Jamie Mularkey. Billy Elikana beat Junior Tafa, like, who doesn't beat a Tafa brother in 2025. Cam Rosen defeated Cody Brundage. Punches from back mount. Brundage just gives up. Malkoon defeated the GOAT Torres Finney. Mekalev defeat Oban Elliott. Oban kind of just falling off. And then Kanan Ofley defeated Yiza and, did his thing. But all in all, this fight card was slightly better than UFC 324 last week. But the main event didn't quite deliver, so it kind of falls behind in that sense. I think at the end of the day that we'll look back on Alexander Volkanovski's career as one of the all-time greats. And it's hard because you have to, like, appreciate him while he's here now. Like, far too often we're like, oh man, Oliveira, he's great, but, like, he's only got like 3 more years left. Or Max Holloway's the same situation. He's been popular for a while, but you know what I mean? Far too often we're like, oh man, such and such is great. And it's like far too late in his career. Like, he's been great for a long time. Volkanovski's fortunate enough to have been great against somebody great too, Max Holloway. I think he gets the job done against both Murphy and Evloev. I just think it's a matter of time before he gets out the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. In the description, I've got my Substack where you can get all these directly to your inbox, as well as other thoughts, and you can sign up for $5 a month if you want to support the channel. Also, Fight Finders episode 9 has been kind of shifted. Couldn't quite make the Dirty Boxing event, so we got to do something different. This one's going to be fun. I've been talking about it for a long time. Catch up. The first 8 episodes are out now, and it's not something you want to miss.